included training them and enforcing the relational expectations in our home. So if one daughter excluded the other, I would sit her down and explain that what she did was hurtful and wrong. And perhaps that night she would not be included in family game time simply as a reminder of what it feels like to be left out. Again, my love for her hadn't changed. My role in her life as her father hadn't changed. But her actions changed her experience of me for that evening. God is a loving Father, and He loves each of us passionately, just as any parent's heart aches when their children hurt one another. God's heart is burdened when that happens in the body of Christ. In addition, when God bestows His favor on each of us, good health, blessed finances, unique skills, or relational acumen, He doesn't do that simply for our own benefit. He does that so that we can be conduits of His blessings to others. When His blessings stop with us and don't flow through us to others, do you think He's going to continue pouring out His favor on us? What would you do with your child? Imagine you're in a candy store with two of your kids, and you decide to buy one bag of candy for them to share. You pay for the candy, hand the bag to the older child, and ask him to share it with your younger child. The older child is the steward of the candy, but he's not the owner. It belongs to both of them because it ultimately belongs to you. Now imagine that your older child begins hoarding all the candy and refusing to give any to your younger child. What would you do? When the candy ran out, would you refill the bag with more candy and give it to your older child again, or would you make other arrangements this time? Your love for your child wouldn't change, but your child's experience of your blessing and provision in his life would definitely change. Similarly, none of us are owners of what we have, our time, talents, or treasures. These things all belong to God. He entrusts them to us so we can use them to advance His kingdom on earth, benefit one another, and glorify Him. When we don't align our actions with God's teaching on how we are to be with one another, we are not removing ourselves from God's family. We are not cutting ourselves off from Him, but we are limiting the full expression and experience of His presence and goodness in our lives, not because He is mean, but because He is good. When our son Jonathan was in training camp with the San Diego Chargers, my wife, Lois, and I flew to San Diego from time to time to watch him at the stadium or to visit him at his home. San Diego is a beautiful place, and we always enjoyed our visits. An interesting statue in San Diego is erected at Christ the King Church. The statue is of Jesus, but His hands are missing. As the story goes, vandals broke them off in the mid-1980s. Rather than having the statue repaired, the pastor chose to put a plaque at the base of it that reads, "I have no hands, but yours." It is declaring that because Jesus has ascended to His rightful place in the heavens and is not physically present on earth, we, His body, are to be His hands to one another. We are to be His feet to one another. We are to offer His help to one another. We are to live out our horizontal relationships with one another in light of our vertical relationship with Christ. We are to be the manifestation of Jesus to one another. That is our ultimate calling as His disciples. That is our highest aim and the truest reflection of the two greatest commands. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength. And you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Mark chapter 12, verses 30 through 31. No one knows for sure who wrote this poem, but it is widely attributed to Teresa of Avila, a 16th century nun. Christ has no body but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. Yours are the eyes with which He looks compassion on this world. Yours are the feet with which He walks.